Hello everybody, I am finally on. I'm sorry for the delay. We had a little water emergency here. So we learned there's water leaking in our basement. So my husband just got home, of course. So I was trying to explain to him what was going on. Oh, sorry, I just ran up here. I'm out of breath. And he managed to turn off, like, it's something with our water heater. So managed to turn that off, and now we're good until he can fix it, but he has been working a lot. So anyway, welcome to Scrap Together Live. I'm just gonna make sure I made it on here, double checking while I catch my breath. My room is upstairs, so I just like ran up the stairs to start this, so I'm kind of catching up here. If you guys are on, definitely holler, that way I know you can see me. Okay, it looks like I can see myself, so that's good. I wanted to make sure I was in frame here too. So anyway, tonight we're going to be working on a project from the new and nifty 52 scrapbooking project recipes. This is right now on the promo with the birthday promo. I hear they're running shorter. They're about to run out. So if you want it, I would jump on tonight and put in the $100 order to get this, and then you also get a pack of birthday embellishments. Now I forgot to grab those in the midst of all the chaos. They're over in my stash somewhere. But you get this and like a little pack of embellishments. I'm working with Denim Revival, but you know, essentially birthday ones, so like that. And I picked a project out of here to do, so we can do that together. So yes, again, if you're on, say hello, so I can say hi back. Otherwise, you can totally catch the replay of this later. So I wanted to start out with telling you guys what you need for this project, and then I'm going to do some announcements. That way you can run and grab what you need while I'm doing announcements. But you will need a border punch of some sort, or a border maker cartridge, or border stickers, or you know, border embellishments. As you can see in our project here, we have some borders on each side, so you need something for that. So I am using the Mandala Border Punch, which you can still get. It's pretty neat. I like how versatile it is for things. You will also need a circle cutter, or your smallest circle in the circle cutting patterns with your blue blade. You're going to need a way to cut a 4.5-inch circle. So I was going to show you guys, these are like the templates for that, and how you can figure out what size circle you can make. It's going to be hard to see on here, so I apologize. Making sure I'm still sticking with you there. Okay. The circle sits within this black part. You get this with your templates when you buy them. So if you lost yours, reach out to customer service, and I'm sure they can hook you up with a new one, maybe for a small price. And I see I need a 4.5 for this project recipe. The smallest one is a 4.5 on the outside with the blue line, meaning the blue blade. So that's how I knew I needed this one. However, I am going to just stick to my circle cutter tonight because I like how that works. So I won't need these. I just wanted to show you guys kind of what you need. And then you're also going to need, while I put these away, excuse me. What I like about these recipes, it tells you the ingredients, and so it lists them all. Try to make this so it's better. Sorry, it's getting so dark early now, so hopefully you can see some things, but if not, it's okay. For this particular one, it tells you like you need beige cardstock and you need the Coastal Shores collection, but really all you need is 2 base pages. So it can be designer paper, it can be cardstock, whatever you choose, and then make sure you have coordinating designer papers as well, or other cardstocks. So you'll be cutting 3 different sheets, meaning you'll need 3 different sheets to cut up, and then 2 to glue all this on. So 2 bases, and 3 pages to cut up. So really you're going to need 5 different papers, 2 of the same for the base, unless you want to make your base different. You'll need your trimmer and your tape runner. It does suggest using repositional tape runner, and that would be a good idea with this guy as well, so I will have that handy. A border punch, and cut them, whoops, your mat, your 13 by 13 mat, I misread that, and then either your circle cutter, where I talked about it, or your pattern, smallest circle pattern with the blue blade. And then optional add-ons, they always give you like stickers and foam squares and a pen to journal with. So what I like about these is it tells you everything you need And then over here is your instructions. Gives you the picture of like how to put it all together, and it coordinates with the colors of these. And then it shows you kind of the finished product. So what I love about these project recipes, and I don't know if you're familiar with them or not, but I was really excited when they had this type of book come out because it tells you exactly how you're going to cut your papers and where you're going to do your circle and all that stuff. So there's no way, you know, unless you turn your paper the wrong way like I have done so often, there's no way to mess it up. So you'll literally do as it says on the cutting guide. So if you want to run around and go ahead and give what you need, I'm going to go over some announcements. Now these I did go over this morning as well during my during our weekly challenge hour live. So if you already heard these, I apologize. I do like to run through my announcements every time I see you guys. That way you know what's going on. Just because I don't want you to miss anything. So I'm going to hold my computer here. Hopefully you can see it okay. There is a reflection, I see. Perfect. So first of all, I'm doing a Dear Widows No Frills crop weekend, and that's going to be November 15th and 16th. It'll be the 15th, that Friday night from 5 to 10, and then that Saturday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Now, no frills means I'm not serving food, so definitely bring a lunch for Saturday. You can bring a snack to share. I'm just looking out my window. It looks so pretty outside right now. My husband said the moon's really pretty. But, so run out there too if you want to take a picture or something. If you want to sign up for this, please do at the registration link in the event group. That way I know for sure you're coming. It does cost $10 just so I know you're coming and to help me cover space use and all that at the facility I use. The same weekend, I'm doing a Dear Widows craft hunt. I figured it'd be kind of fun. You know, while the guys and some girls go hunting too, are out hunting, the ladies can go craft hunting. So I'm offering a bunch of different projects from 10 to 4 at the same location at the church there during the day Saturday. So if you have friends you want to invite, that would be awesome. And I'll have so many different projects available. Like they can pick a card to do or cards. They can pick a scrapbook page kit, a fold over page. I'll even have some 8x8 mini paper albums there. And just a variety of different things. I'll have some tools for them to play with. So this is a great way to introduce scrapbooking. I do charge per project, but it's literally going to range from like $2 to $10. So definitely invite your friends. I'll throw a little incentive in it for you too if you invite them and they come. But go ahead and share that event as well if you see that floating around on Facebook. I'm also super excited. I just put this out there today. My Christmas card making and cocoa. On Small Business Saturday, I partnered with the Pier in Ludington, and the Pier as in a place, not the pier. It'll be cold, but it's pretty much where the port in Ludington used to be. If you are from here and you know where that was, like Humanity, Britters is in there, Clock Bucket used to be in there, and there's some other things in there. I'll be there from 10 to 2 on Small Business Saturday, November 30th, doing Christmas cards. So definitely stop by, say hi, come make a card or two. Bring your lady friends or whoever you're shopping with, your family. I'd love to meet them and make a card with them. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then this is just my other things going on. We already talked about all those, so I don't need to address those. I'm doing another one like tonight, the Scrap Together Live in November on the 18th, 7 p.m. I'm not sure what project we'll do yet, but I'll come up with something. And then I'm doing a virtual VIP open house in my VIP group only. So that's only going to be for my VIPs, you know, my ride or die ladies who have supported me this year. And it's just my way of saying thank you. I offer a bunch of deals and sell off some back product super cheap and do some giveaways and just some fun things like that. So if you want in on that, make sure you're in my Ashley Scrappy VIP group. So I'd hate for you to miss it. It's December 6th and 7th, all online, so you don't have to go anywhere. And then I'm also doing Scrappy Winter Camp. If you remember, I did summer Scrappy Camp this last summer. I think I'm going a different direction this time, and I got inspired by a travel idea. So I think instead we're going to do a little scrapbook adventure, a getaway, you know, right where you're at, and I'm going to do little passports instead of badges. So it should be fun. I'm brainstorming a lot, so getting really exciting. So I'm looking forward to getting more ideas out to you guys. That's going to be January 3rd through March. I think it's actually the 9th, because through a Sunday typically, and that's my husband's birthday, so I know that's not a Sunday. Just because I, you know, draw the prizes that last Sunday. So be on the lookout for more details that will get you through winter. You'll get 30 pages done at least if you do all the challenges. So I'm excited to do more of that with you guys this winter. So if you're interested, reach out and let me know. That way I know there's a lot of interest. I have heard a lot of interest, so pretty excited about all that. So next up, hopefully you guys can see me okay. I think I keep getting... Oh, Angie, do you know the retail value of the book? I want to say it's like 20 bucks. I will double check to make sure though. Sue is on. Hi, Sue. Sorry, I just got back to my little stream here so I could look at it. I was showing announcements. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and get started on our project. So hopefully you guys can see everything okay. I have weird lighting in here just because it's getting dark early now. Okay, so I got my punch. We won't worry about that until we get to that sheet. I am using Denim Revival. I am scrapbooking one of the restaurants we ate at in Disney Springs. And I didn't have enough photos. As you can see, we use about 7 photos on here. So I pulled a mat. It's an older mat from my stash. It says spicy, saucy, sweet, and it goes really well with this. So it's from like an old, I don't remember when it came out. It's from like a long time ago. It was like a recipe one that came out, so I couldn't even tell you the collection, but I pulled this because I was going through all the mats I'm trying to sell off, and I was like, oh, that actually works here. So this is going to be my other photo when we get to that point. But we ate at Homecoming in Disney Springs. It was definitely one of our top rated restaurants on our trip. So I got like chicken and donuts. It's like their take on chicken and waffles. Mark got this gigantic, oh gosh, country fried steak. And I love this picture because he's just so excited about it. This is my fun little drink I got, Florida Sunshine. Really good. Lucy got a little cheeseburger meal and she got to have mac and cheese with it. Like, she was the best, happiest kid ever. And then these are, oh my word, these things were so good. Thigh-high chicken and biscuits are what they're called. And oh man, I dream about these still. But and this was Homecoming. Outside of it, just a really pretty restaurant in Disney Springs. So I'm pretty excited to scrapbook about it. One of my highlights of vacation is definitely food. If you're like me, you get it. So I like to scrapbook food. So I figured this sketch would go well with that based on what pictures I had to do. And then I pulled out the Denim Revival because Homecoming's kind of a down home, feel good, cozy restaurant, and it has like a farmer vibe to it. So I thought Denim Revival would be the best option. And it's still available. These two are not from Denim Revival, they're from Shiplap, so don't be fooled. Or maybe they're from the Burlap, they're from one of those two. My papers are all so damp because of all the leaking that's been happening in our basement. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. So actually my window cracked because it's just like damp in here. So these are from Shiplap. These are going to be my bases. I couldn't choose between dark and light. I think I'm going light just because, the ladybug corona. I went with light because I thought things would pop off the page better. And then I already picked out where I'm using each of this. So I'm using this paper as the green setup here. So I'm going to be using my punch and all these cuts on this one. Now I have a full sheet of this, but I was looking at the measurements and it only needs to be 8 wide. And this paper is a scrap I had left from a previous project. So it's 8 wide. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to use that. Otherwise you'll want a full sheet and then you'll just cut off excess. So when I get to this point, I'll walk you through it, I promise. And then, I don't know if I showed you the other side. We're going to use the front and the back. And I tried not to get anything too directional, because as you know, I struggle with that. So hopefully I don't turn anything the wrong way tonight. And if I do, it hopefully won't mess you up. It'll just mess me up. And this will be for this one right here. So I already picked out what I'm going to do. Hopefully it doesn't all blend together, all being like similar colors. But I think it'll look really nice when it's done. So that's what we're using. These are like more the Denim Revival papers I have. Really cute pack. I really enjoy this pack. It's very like good for anything really. Farm, random restaurants. I'm using it for that. So this is the rest of it. But I am going to be using these sheets I just showed you. So I'm going to start on my first sheet here. I'm going to move my bases out of the way for now because we don't need those until later. Okay, just going to check my comments. Perfect. No new questions. Okay. So we're going to start with our punch. So as you can see on our first page here, we are going to punch and punch, and then we're going to cut. So I'm going to start with the punches first. We're also going to do the circle on this one. So this is a very exciting page to be cutting into. So again, direction here. I think my punch is going to be mostly this color because I like this lighter color on the wood. So if you've never used a border punch, and I apologize if you're a veteran and I'm going through all this, there are little black lines here. You want to put your paper between those, and then you're going to line it up as you slide it out to create your border. Now if you don't get it right in the black lines, that's okay. It's not really pertinent unless it's a punch that depends on being held together by those black lines, but usually they don't. So I can't think of an instance right now. My paper is so mushy because it's so damp. Oh my gosh. Okay. So if you guys were on when I first started, I was a little late because we found that our basement has been leaking all day or all night or something. We just heard like water dripping. I heard water dripping all day, and of course I'm scared of our basement. If you know me, you know I'm kind of scared of basements, especially unfinished ones. And I didn't go down there. I just told my husband, hey, our drain's been backing up. I wonder if it's leaking in our basement. And he just got home like right before I had to jump on tonight. And I was like, hey, go check out the basement. And he was like, yeah, it's leaking down there hardcore. So he just turned off our hot water because apparently that's where the issue is. And so I will not be showering for a day or so. Poor guy's been working like 12-hour shifts too lately. So yeah, it might be a minute, but we'll get it done. It's fine. He seems to know what to do. It's just a matter of having time to do it. So, okay, so there's one of my punches. As you can see, I didn't do a chain. I did an edge. So I'm going to have to cut this off. And luckily we have some wiggle room, so there is scrap on this. So I'm probably going to try to leave it as close to, oh goodness, I want to say it's about 1.5 inches wide, if I can see correctly. So when I go to trim this, I want to make sure I only trim it what I need to. That way I save enough room to cut the rest of our pieces. So if you're doing an edge, that's cool, but just make sure you trim wisely. Just so you don't like cut way over here and go, oh, we're right out of paper once you get to your other cuts. So I'm going to trim this one off. And I'm going to try to keep it as close. Because once you put it on your page too, it's going to, like, you can cover the edges a little bit, it looks like. So just maybe trim pretty close to where your punching happened. I might be able to even get it within 1 inch. We'll see. I don't want to go too close because I also don't want to lose my patterns here. Okay, and if you didn't know, the trimmer has these cool guides on them to make sure. I think that's good. I might tuck them a little bit underneath. So there's one. I'm going to set that aside for later. And I'm going to set my trimmer aside. This is where I go a lot of back and forth. And I'm going to punch another one. I like to use the same side just in case it's jagged or something, but I did trim it, so shouldn't be too bad. We're going to punch our second one. It gets so dark so early. Hopefully you guys can see everything okay. I feel very shadowy right now. So, apologize for the top of my head. Excited to see what you guys create. You gotta make sure you post those for me when we're done. Okay, there we go. So now we've done all of our border punching. We're gonna set that aside now. Oops, my lock moved when I was punching. And I'm gonna clean up a little bit. If you guys have a minute to comment, tell me what you're working on tonight. I'd love to hear. Or if you're just watching, that's cool too. I'd love to hear what you guys are doing. Let's see what Angie has to say. You could cut the mats you need first. That's true. I could have, couldn't I? So funny. I tend to work like one way. Yes, so you could cut the mats first on this one. That's true, in case you're worried about that. If not, I mean, I have another sheet of this, so it'll be okay. But that is a good point, Ange. I could have done that first. Then I wouldn't have had to worry about how close I got to my punch here. I think it'll be okay. Okay. Now we're going to do the rest for cutting. Actually, I still need this, don't I? Alright, so next is our 4x6 squares, or mats. So we're going to cut 4 first. And we're going to go right here. it's going to be 6 inches long. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that now so I don't have to come back and do it later. 6 inches. Boom. And my pictures are different sizes, so I'm probably going to end up trimming these down even more. Okay, and then we need another 4 by 6, so 4. And this one, I'm going to do the 6 first, because we want to leave a nice big chunk to cut that circle out of. So I'm going to cut at the 6 first, and then the 4. That way I have a nice square to work with. So now we're going to do our 4. Perfect. And you can see we're going to use like both sides, I think. Well, maybe not. It doesn't say reverse, but you can do whatever you want. So now we have a piece of scrap. We can set that aside. And now I'm going to remove, not remove, the trimmer. I don't work well in the evening, as you can tell. I'm way more coherent, you know, at the 10 a.m. one than I am at the evening one. So if I say words, I'm like, where is that? And it's right in front of me. And that's why it's getting close to my bedtime. So 4.5. So if you have the circle cutter, sorry, my camera's over there. You're going to find a 4.5. On the circle cutter, there's not really a half, so you're going to kind of go between those two lines there, between the 4 and the 5. Or you can just use your custom cutting system and use your smallest circle, blue blade on the outside, as we talked about earlier. Okay, double check. Excellent. Okay, and this doesn't cut until you push this down and hold the button. I just like to do a little spin around initially to make sure everything's going to stay on the page or on the paper I'm using. Looks like we're good. And of course my paper is very wrinkly because of our water situation. So hopefully, and then once I get around, I try to pull up a little bit just to make sure I've cut through all the directions before I move anything. Looks like we're good. So there we go. And this is scrap too. I don't know if you want to keep it or throw it away, but up to you and your scrap habits. All right, so now we're done with the cutter there. Done with this punch. Set that aside. Okay. Now it looks like we are going to cut that circle in half, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that right now. And the best way to cut a circle in half, I have found, if it's not too jumbo, is just nestling it right inside of your trimmer here. So there's these two little guides that kind of come up on the edge. If you nestle it, that's pretty much the middle. You are going to want to pay attention to direction a little bit, because I know my border, let's see, look at this. Yeah, I don't want to use the same color as my border. So this is going to be my circle side, pretty sure. So I want to make sure I go in a decent direction. There's a little bit of direction to this, but nothing crazy, so I don't think it really matters, but just for the sake of consistency, I suppose. There we go. And there's half circles. So set those aside. Okay. Next, we're going to do our blue page here. And that is the page I have already cut from before. It needs to be 8 wide. I'm just going to double check again, make sure we're at 8. Otherwise, I'll pull out the full sheet. Yep, we're actually a little over 8. So this should work for me. If you have the 12, if you have a 12 piece for this, that's okay. Just do the same cuts as I am doing. Pretend I have a 12. Because you are going to end up cutting like 4 off anyway, scrap. So you're just going to pretend that's going to go away anyway. So if you have questions, definitely holler in the comments. I'm kind of monitoring those as I go, just to make sure you guys are with me. If you need me to slow down too, let me know as well. I can't like come to a complete stop for a long time. Like if you have to run to the bathroom, I'm probably not going to stop for you. But if you're like, hold on, I have a question about that last step, definitely holler. So we have our first cut. These are all 4 wide. So we're just going to cut right at the 4 all the way down like that. And then our first, I'm going to start from the bottom, that way I'll have a 6 left. I'm lazy. I don't like to pull the arm out all the time. So the first one's a 4x4 at the bottom there. I'm going to cut at the 4 again after turning my strip here. So then I'll have a 4x4, probably going to be a mat of some sort. I think that title mat you saw. We need a 4x2, so then we're going to go to the 2. Make sure I get in the line. Okay. There's that one. And then we're left with a 4x6, which I'll probably end up trimming down because my photos are not that size. Okay. Now with this strip, you're going to have a bigger strip. Again, you're going to cut at the 4. Yours is going to look a little bigger, remember, because you're going to have a 12 by 12 still that you're cutting from. I started with an 8 by 12. So go ahead and cut at the 4, pretending I have a full sheet here, if that makes any sense at all. Hopefully you guys are tracking with me okay. I just like to use up scraps and use up paper, so I went with the smaller one because I'm like, that's perfect. Perfect, no questions. So we must be doing okay. And then we're going to do another 4 by 2. I know the 4 by 6 is on the top, but I like to work my way down, so I'm weird like that. So was that 2? I don't think it was. Good thing we have some scrap to work. Oh, it's 2. It looks so funny. It looks very wide. Anyway. Okay. Like I said, I'm getting tired. I have to start making these things earlier. We'll see what happens. It's so hard with dinner time and all that too. And then of course my husband rolled in way later than I thought he would be tonight. So I had to stop and talk to him. Okay. So that's the end of that paper. So you'll be left with like a square and then another strip of scrap. So you can set that aside. And then our last paper here, I'm using this guy. It's going to be on this orange part here. We're doing some more 4 by 6s. So our first cut, I know this part right here is a 3.5. You'll trim that off later. So we're just going to go straight down first. We're going to do our longest cuts first. So directionally now, with this thing, do I want my chevrons to go more on this one? I don't think it matters too much to me. I'll just go ahead and just roll with them like this. That's fine. You could always, like if you're ever in doubt, look at it and say, okay, where's piece M at? And you go, oh, that's actually going to end up being turned. That's fine. So I don't mind if my chevrons are going that way. Just keep in mind that when you're cutting, you might want to go check out where your pieces are and see which way those pieces are going. Now, like I said, I didn't do anything too directional here, so I'm not too worried about it. In this, I don't really care which way it's going. So we're going to go with that route. Okay, so then a 4 by 6, I am going to work this way with that weird 3.5 in there. We're going to go to 6. Here's another mats. And then we need another 4 by 2. These are going to make up our little pieces on the side by our border on the one side of our layout. And again, you'll have a couple options there. And this needs to end up being a 3.5 by a 3.5. So we're going to start by cutting at the 3.5 this way. Trying to line it up good, but my paper is so wrinkly. Oh my gosh, that's a 2.5. I need to go to bed, seriously. 3.5. Anyone holler at me in the comments? I'm a little laggy, I'm seeing on my thing, so that's okay if you didn't yell at me. 3.5, there we go. Alright, there's 3.5 that way. This is a scrap. 3.5 this way. And luckily with this one, you get a lot of scrap left over. So if you mess up something, you can cut another piece. So not like the, you know, the cropped over project recipe where it's like nothing's left. And so I didn't have a lot to work with on that one. Okay, so this next piece is going to be 4.5 by 6.5. So go ahead and do 4.5 to start. This is going to be scrap, so you can set that aside for another project. And then 6.5. And again, I'm not sure, depending on where these are, I might be trimming these down more, just because my pictures are not all that 4 by 6. So that's okay. These are meant to be adjustable. So we are all done with our cutting. Yay! So we have to, you know, crop down a little more if we need to. Just set my scraps aside. Okay, and now I'm going to grab our bases. My lovely wood paper here. Hopefully you guys can still see okay. I keep trying to move my light so you guys can see alright. I don't want it too harsh though either, so that's the kicker of it all. I think we're okay. If you guys can't see, definitely mention it in the comments and I will do my best to adjust the lighting. But now that the sun goes down so early. Alright, no comments, perfect. Just making sure. Alright, so now we're going to put it all together, and this is like one of my favorite parts because it's fun to see my page come together. Or my layout, it's more than a page. My pages. Okay, so here is our little key here. Now it doesn't tell you like put this one down first. It might actually. It kind of does. I don't look at that a whole lot. No, it doesn't really tell you how to put them down. You just look at it and go, oh, okay, this is how I lay it out, and you can go from there. So I think I'm going to start with my borders on the edge. That way I can kind of cover them as I go. So I got my lovely mandalas here. Oh yes, those will look very nice. And I got my repositional tape runner, which we're going to need for this very intricate design, and my silicone mat. Now, what I tell people, if you don't have a silicone mat, wax paper actually works pretty well as well. However, I do love my silicone mat because it's reusable, and wax paper I feel would get gross after a long time. Oh, there's this side too. I think I like the lighter for this, and then the circle will be this blue. So keep that in mind as you're piecing this together too, that that certain sides might go one way, and you don't want to like have too much of the same side next to each other if it's the same paper. So you're going to be using the reverse of a lot of these too. Okay, so this is going to roll right up against our edge. So sorry if I'm in your way for a hot second here. I'm just going to lay this out, and I am horrible at lining stuff up. I say it every time. So I'm just going to do the best I can, especially when my paper is so bubbly today. So I'm sure once the humidity gets out of here, it'll be better, but right now it's very bubbly. So what I love about repositional is it only sticks to this and not the silicone mat. So if you have these little dainty designs, you're not sitting there with your like giant tape runner trying to squeeze little strips in there. There's also a mini tape runner that can work, but again, you're still kind of working between this. You just like roll it on and go. So definitely love the repositional, and it's always in my arsenal of tape runners. So again, we're gonna line it up right on the edge. Kind of eyeball it. Perfect. Okay. Now we should be done with this. I don't think I have any more teeny tiny pieces to do. Till maybe embellishment time. Double check comments again. Perfect. Okay. And then I think what we're going to want to do, I'm going to do these little pieces over here, and then I need to consider my mats over here and what am I going to do with those, because they're not going to be, well, the photos are only supposed to be 5.5, so they might work fine. So let's do our little pieces first, and then our circle, and then we'll put a circle over here. So you're going to find all of these little 4x2s, 2x4s, whatever you want to call them, that you got out earlier. So there's that. Okay, and then you're going to mix and match. So this is the fun part of project recipes, is you can mix and match. And I am going to pull this one more over closer to the light here. Again, I love having 2 mats because I can stack and work on a page and then, you know, move it. So I'm going to try to layer these in such a way that it works well. Keeping in mind that this circle is also going to go kind of like between these two. So I'm going to consider what I'm doing here. Let's see. See, that's the same thing, so we don't want that. I could go lighter, although that's pretty light as well. So I think I'm going to leave it as a dark denim up there, which is totally fine because that dark piece helps. So for this one, I'm just going to use my regular tape runner. And I'll keep this kind of in your sight too. We're just going to layer these on. Now I do love this Coastal Shore collection. The more I see it, the more I like it. I don't have that one, but I could see myself using it for many things. That side too. I think I like the lighter side better. Okay. But I do enjoy what people are making with the Coastal Shore collection. Okay, so I'm going to kind of layer this on top of my border. So I don't have the chain like they do. I have more of an edge. So I'm just going to layer on top a little bit to help hide this weight, or this extra little bit. Now it's not a make or break in my mind, so, ooh, maybe I want this piece up here actually. Just saw that has a nice dark, wrong spot. Sorry, I'm still finagling. I'm gonna want that higher. You know what, that piece does work better, I think, still. So we're gonna put that on there. I do like the texture on this one more, but for the sake of the circle, half circle, I'm gonna use that one. Okay. Perfect. Oops, that one's a little crooked. Also, like I said, I cannot put anything on straight, so that's fun. Let's see. My goodness gracious. Okay. The circle will help cover some of this. Must have overlapped somewhere in there. When I have to work with little pieces, I get so nervous because I cannot line things up. So then there's like these weird joints between and it gets very awkward. Very fast. So try to fix that for the most part. Without looking too funky other places. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that'll cover that up anyway, so I shouldn't be too worried about it. Okay, and then we're gonna put our circle on, and again, see, it matches the border. Maybe that's not a bad thing though. Second guessing. I actually don't hate the lighter side. I'm pondering. I think I'd have to really decorate it up. I think I do want to go to the lighter side though. I think I'm changing course here. I'm winging it. I'm always winging it. You know that. So yes, I did decide to go lighter on this one. And that's okay. Perfect. Alright. So there's our one border done. I'm going to do the mats separately just because I might have to cut those down. So, our other page that we are working on. Now for this one, I'm going to have to lay out my mats a little bit. And since they're all like the same size, I don't know if it really matters which ones I use. So, I'm assuming these are going to go here, which can work really nicely. I could just go ahead and put those down now, but I'll wait. Okay. So, I was going to say I'm missing mats. Here we go. I was like, I need more. So it looks like on here they did these three all match and these are all mixed up. So I think I like that promise of having them all match because we're all of these are like us with our food. So, and then I think my drink. So I think I will have those match. Let's see what we have here. Looks like these light ones are the matchy ones. So I might roll with that. And then they have like a feature photo up here, which will be the actual restaurant, I think. I might just do a reddish, like a burnt burgundy red, brownish, I don't know. And these ones you can kind of do with your little heart designs. Yeah, so these are all butted up against each other. There isn't really room. See, but now I'm questioning if I like all the blue over here. Oh, I see. This one's bigger. So this one needs to be up here. Got it. All right. Which it's not going to matter in the long run because all my photos are going to be the same size. So, except for my mat. That one's going to be bigger, but I'm going to trim it down. So, yes, I think I will do... A lot of times I'll just take my photo and be like, which looks better on that color? This one? Or this one? Ooh, they're both pretty nice. I think I like the lighter because it brings out the water. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? You vote. If you like the lighter one better, tell me. Or if you like the darker one better, tell me. So, tell me what you think while I'm figuring out the rest of these. I think I'm gonna go... Again, I'm going to make sure my photos work for this size. If anything, I'm going to have to cut the edge more because they're going to be the right width. Or no. Oh yeah, you cut the photos down. That's right, they're 3.5. And that's fine. So I'm going to cut these down to 3.5. I'm just making sure I like the colors with what I'm doing. And like I said, that's not going to be a problem cutting these down. And that's my mat I'm using. Perfect. I think that's what I'm rolling with. So again, light or dark over here? Light or dark? Ah, Angie says light. That's what I'm feeling. I think I'm feeling light. Okay, we're gonna go light. Just because that was my instinct as well. So, alright. So now we gotta trim down our photos to, it says 3.5 by 5.5. This one we're supposed to leave full. However, it is not a full photo. I could, you know, switch these around as well. Oops. But I don't like having, I don't know. There just seems to be a lot of pictures over here and not a lot over here. So for balance sake, I was going to go ahead and leave that and then trim this down. So I'm probably going to trim this mat down and then trim these photos down. That's what I'm going to end up doing. So how I do that with a photo like this, rather than do the math, I did this a little bit this morning too. Drove Angie nuts. I'm mad where I stick the whole photo on the page and I cut around it. It's so funny. But on here, like I'm like, oh, I don't know what to cut this down to. So I'm going to line it up kind of in the corners and then cut off the excess. Just so I don't have to think, you know, math-wise. I'm not a math girl. So I know, I'm getting in trouble now that my kid's in 5th grade and bringing home harder math to do. And I'm just like, oh gosh, Lord help me. I'm an English major and I read and I write. I do not crunch numbers. So I let Excel crunch numbers for me. Okay, and I'm gonna get my little personal trimmer. Love this thing. And I'm gonna say it every time, hold the plastic when you cut. So I could go 6, but that actually seems a little big. I think that works. Perfect. Okay, and again, it's getting mighty shadowy in this area, so hopefully we can hang in there. Okay, so I'm going to cut these down to 3.5. These are already pretty short photos. Like, it's not even 5.5. So, really, these photos are supposed to be 5.5. I'm not going to worry too much about it. If there's excess matte hanging over, I'm probably just going to, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But we are going to cut it down to that 3.5. I'm probably going to find a balance on both sides. This one seems okay. I gotta say, my husband loved this vacation. Oh my gosh. He's the one that wants to go back. It's so funny. I'm like, yeah, sure, we can go back. It's up to you, honey. So, but again, I'm also like the saver of the family, and I'm like, ah, money, you know, so we can't go back for many years. But boy, it was fun. Which is why I scrapbook, so I can relive the moment, right? That's why we do this. Okay, they're actually trimming pretty well, so, and we're going to trim this one down. This one I think is so cool looking because it has the water in it. I felt like a true, like, food blogger when I was taking pictures of stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get it in the window. It's super funny. Let's see, I might have to go both ends on this one. No, actually, it should work. Perfect. This guy. Perfect. Alright, now this one we're going to have to cut down. It's going to be interesting because the letters are very close to the edge. So I'm just going to do the best I can here. I do want to keep it semi-even. So 3.5 here. I'm probably going to start the 3 3/4. And then do 3.5 this way. That way I know it's even. I'm trying to watch time for you guys, but I think we're going to be a little over an hour, so I apologize. I always forget how much more these involve than, you know, my regular challenge hour lives. But they're always worth it. You know what? Maybe that looks cool too. I don't know. I'm not sure I want to trim that down. Let's see. 5.5, eh? see what we can do here without cutting anything off, hopefully. It's close, but it can work, I think. My tea might go, so we're gonna leave it a little longer than 5.5, and that's okay. Okay, perfect. All right, I think I've done all the photo trimming I need to. So now I am going to start matting these. Make sure there's no question. I thought dark until I saw the picture on the light. Ah, yes. I know the lighting in here is interesting right now, just because I'm trying to make it work. Let's see. It's kind of funny because there's like these, whoa, there goes my light. I turned it too far. There's like these mood settings, but like that's not good. That one might be better, but I don't know. We'll keep playing with it. I have one little window in this room, and the only light in here other than my desk lamp right here is the one right behind me. So of course there's shadows. So that'll be something to figure out this winter when we're doing these together. But this little light seems okay. It's just a matter of keeping it in the right spots. Trying to keep my hands from being all shadowy for you guys. Okay, so this part where I'm just going to kind of throw it all together. Line it up. Trying to line it up, but you know me. Go ahead and glue these down now. And again, I could overlap it a little bit. I want to keep it even with the other side on top of this border. So I just want to make sure mostly I'm running up against the edge pretty well. I'm pretty excited about this layout just because this was like one of our favorite places to eat. It's just fun to relive, you know? My mouth is watering all over again looking at these pictures. I don't normally take pictures of food, but on vacation I definitely take pictures of food, so it's fun. I enjoy doing it. Ooh, again, I must have overlapped somewhere weird because the edge is off at the top here. That's okay. I'm not too worried about it. Somehow I missed some spots. That's okay. Okay, now our circle, we're going to have to also get strategic on. And if I need to, I will trim it down. I don't know if I need to though. That might actually work right there. And actually, I want it to be that color. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay. That actually worked out nicely with that color, with this color there. So we're going to do that. Okay. Gonna kind of butt up right with that T there. Excellent. Okay. And now we're gonna keep plugging on our mats here. Yeah, so these mats are gonna be way longer than the picture, but I don't mind that honestly because I can also journal underneath. So I think I'm gonna leave those alone. I thought about trimming them, but I think I like it like that, so we're gonna leave it. Perfect. And I'm gonna have to brainstorm. I'm gonna put up here in this little title box. I'll come up with something, but maybe I'll find another mat and trim it down or something. That's the beauty of mats, is you can use them in place of photos. Like I didn't have enough photos for this, so I found a mat that works really well. And this, I'm not sure what I'm putting there, so we're gonna leave that for a minute. That might be once I'm off the air here. And then I, of course, you know, will finish probably embellishing once I go off live. And then I will share my page with you guys, or my layout with you guys, when it's, you know, in its completion in a photo. So, and I would love to see yours as well. So make sure you're posting those for me to see. I need to come up with like a hashtag or something, but I usually see them. It's just fun to get people wondering, like, what the heck are they talking about? Oh, I already glued denim. Okay, so it's going to be kind of centered at the top. And again, I'm not doing a good job lining things up. I'm kind of just throwing it out at this point. I'm like, it's my bedtime, man. So funny, because sometimes I get the bug and I like stay up so late scrapbooking, and then sometimes I'm like, oh, I can't go anymore. So today is one of those days where I'm like, okay, just keep plugging, we're gonna make it. It's Wednesday, we're almost there. Okay, so kind of got our basic premise all laid out here. Well, now I'm questioning if I like that or not. Dang it. I'm reassessing, I'm sorry. I just saw that those were close together and I don't like it. That's okay. Luckily things peel apart pretty easily if you just do them. That's fine. Perfect. I like the red more. Ha. I'll fix it. It's good. Okay. So, in terms of embellishments, I have the Denim Revival ones. There are these cute little pockets. I'm going to put a pocket up there. That could be fun. Huh. I'm going to have to list what we ate, right? Oops. It's like a bag in a bag. That's funny. And this is all still available on the Creative Memory site. So if you like any of this that you see, not this mat, unfortunately, but everything else, and not this paper, but all the Denim Revival is still available. These are a little big, aren't they? Here's a wee little one that's light. Could always like layer it in there. Kind of funny. We'll see what happens. We're just gonna keep playing. And once we hit that hour, if you guys like need to hop off, that's cool. I'm gonna, you know, leave this as a replay as well. There are some fun embellishments and stickers with this collection, so I'm going to pull those out. Now I got to keep in mind journaling. I am a journaler, and I like to list like everything we ate. So part of me is thinking I could use this box, but I also don't like my journaling like at the top of the page. I might use one of these circles to journal in. So I'm going to keep that in my mind as well. I could also like journal along these boxes too, but I could journal in there. There are lots of places I could journal. I just need to figure out like where. So lots of cute little embellishments. This hello is funny. Heartfelt, limited edition. In the moments that speaks there, I feel. This is us. Oh, these little cute denim hearts. Oh my gosh, those are adorable. I have to use those. Love. That's gonna go right here. Right there. There are little journal boxes too I could put in here. I don't know if they're big enough for me. I like to journal a lot. So there's some options here. There's also these cute little flowers I could throw around. Put those there. And there are stickers as well. As you can see, I have used this for other things, so there's some borders, but I don't think I need any more borders, so we're going to set those aside. Oh, yes, these are cute. I could see using those buttons and things. Yeah, so what I'm probably going to do is hop off, and I will finish this layout, and I am going to post the finished product for you, so you can still see it when I'm done with it. I'll wrap that up here tonight before I go to bed. That way you guys don't have to, you know, stay up all night wondering, wow, how did I do it? You know, whatever. I'm sure I keep you up at night. So I will get off, and then I would love to see also what you guys did with this layout. So definitely share a picture on either, you know, my VIP page or my VIP group or my, you know, more public page here. It's up to you. It's whatever you want to do, whatever you're comfortable with, and I would love to see what you did. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you want one of these birthday books, Angie, I will see what the retail is on it. I want to say they're usually $20, but this one is a much nicer one than the last year's or so. I'll try to find that out. I want to say it's $20, but if you guys want one of these with the embellishments, they are, I'm going to double check, make sure they're still available. I have a cart full of $100 worth of stuff right now that I'm just kind of sitting on, just for future classes and stuff. So I'm going to make sure they're still available. That way I don't go get one and you go, yeah, they're not there. Looks like CM's had like a crazy week, man, between those bags and yeah, it's still showing up in my cart. Marnie did post something, Marnie of a home office did post something that these are running low. And it is extended through Friday, but they don't think it'll make it that long. So if this is something you have your eye on, go put in an order of $100 or more, and you can get one along with those embellishments. There's a lot of fun ideas in here. I was playing with which one I wanted to do tonight, so look at how cute these are. Like, I had never seen any of these layouts before, so most of them are pretty new, I think. So there's some new ideas. It tells you, you know, 6 photos go in this one. The one we did was 7 photos, so I think you can look up based on how many photos, 8 photos. So that's pretty nice. But yeah, if you want one, definitely get on and snag one. My ideas for people are load up on tape runners, load up on pages for things like this. Like if it's something you really want and you're like, yeah, I really want that, you know, get the necessities that you're going to go through. That way you know you'll use it. So, or tackle that wish list. If there's like one thing on your wish list you want, throw that in there. So yeah, thanks again for watching tonight. And like I said, I will post my completed layout so you guys can see that when I'm all done. So thanks so much, you guys. If you couldn't make it, I hope you can watch the replay. Comment that you watched. Thanks so much.